What I have loaded here is a banner. Specifically, it's a Herculite Bantex 18 ounce. It's excellent for outdoor double-sided. But let's say that this was actually their 10 ounce blackback curl-free. Well, that's a different product, and it has possibly some different settings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you here on the panel how you go get a preset from the actual panel, and then what to do once you have it, because there's an important step you have to take, which is to do the calibration. There's two ways to get at the calibration. There's two paths. I'll show you the way that I use, and I'll show you another way. They both do the same thing. But what you're doing is taking the download you get, and you are fingerprinting it so that this printer has a memory of specific density targets. It needs to know what those targets are so it can refer back to them over time. And I just want to show you on the panel how you do that. So first, we've found our media. So you go to online search, and 3 materials show up. Now the one that I want here is right on top. It says 10 ounce blackback curl free. And there's a little download button, and all I got to do is push it. It says I accept, and I do. And now it's going to go about the process of downloading. The download process takes about 45 seconds or so, and it's going to place it into the printer's hard drive. The printer has a solid-state hard drive. This information is going to go into the printer, and then once it's there, your RIP, which I recommend you having it set for sync automatically, in Onyx, for example, it's going to know that something new is on the printer, and it's going to go and get it, and it's going to bring the ICC profile that's on here into the actual RIP, and it's going to reside there. It's going to replace it and put this one that it's downloaded there. So what it is downloading right now is an OMS file into the printer. Now once this is downloaded, and it takes a little bit, then we're going to go hit color calibrate. It's important that you do that. And I'll show you where your settings will say recommended until you go and calibrate it, and then it will say okay. If enough time has gone by after you've done it, or you've changed a print head, or you've changed the ink equilibrium somehow, then it will say obsolete. If it says obsolete, it means it's time to do it again. So once you have it downloaded into the printer, here is where I check, for example, to make sure that everything's the way it's supposed to be. Go into the banner, and I'm going to choose the banner. Hit select. What was on there before will be the one it defaulted to. And then once I've done that, I'm going to go back to this front panel on the printer. And on the bottom here, it says color calibration. It says recommended. There's 3 categories. Recommended, that means you've never done it. The second one is obsolete. Obsolete means you did it, but now it's no longer valid because enough time has gone by, or you've changed a print head. And then ideally what you want that to say is okay. Okay is ideally what you're looking for. So in this case it says recommended. I would then go into substrate library, and then I scroll up and pick the media, and I hit modify. Now any one of these that you do it in, if you do it for one, it will be good for all. So you only have to do it once. It's a Contone printer. I traditionally, when I'm building my first one, I go to the slowest speed. So in this case, I'm going to select it. Now from this chart, you don't need anything there. You're just going to move to the next step. This is all fixed. And you go continue. Don't hit print, just hit continue. Now here on this screen, this is the color calibration, and then to the right side is your ICC creation. Here it says recommended. Right below it, it says start color calibration. What I want to do is I want to hit that button, and that's going to print the chart. It's going to print the color closed loop calibration chart. And then when it's done, instead of saying recommended, it's going to say okay. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for this chart, hit that, and it's going to change that after it reads it. Now, if it reads it, occasionally, it doesn't read it correctly, and it continues to say recommended. That means it didn't hold, something wasn't quite right, try it again. Sometimes the second time is the charm. But make sure you get to the screen, you know what it says. You don't want to be printing for months on end having not done this, because if you don't do this, you can't go back to a baseline. It hasn't done that chart yet, and it likes to do that chart. So I recommend doing it as soon as you download. Go ahead and print that. That's going to create its fingerprint. Now it has a reference point to refer to. Otherwise, it has no reference point. Time will elapse, and by the time you do it, then you're going to change it at that point, and everything you printed before then, you're going to have a harder time color matching to. The other way to get there, quality maintenance, hit calibrate. And that is downloading and then finding the color calibration and printing it, making sure that you go from recommended to okay.